Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truth. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. In our last two episodes, we discussed what could happen in the near future if the CCP has been indeed purposefully undermining China's economy to maintain its totalitarian power. Today, let's continue to explore this matter. Along with the closure of the state, the existing commodity market would inevitably fall into a state of total collapse, with major problems in the entire supply, logistic, and pricing system. But the CCP was well prepared for this. That was the supply and marketing cooperative system before the reform and opening up of China. This is a system in which the government monopolized the purchase and sale of all goods, and it was the system that was practiced in China until the 1980s. It was only after the reform and opening up that the market was slowly opened up to allow private participation in the distribution of goods. However, the supply and marketing cooperative system has been resolved throughout China since 2017. After 6 years, the system is now fully organized at the township level, so that in the event of a war or emergency, the system can be used to replace the current commodity supply system. Fifth, in terms of payment tools, the CCP also has an early arrangement, which is the digital RMB. Digital RMB has been tested since 2019 and is now fully mature technologically. The CCP can easily make it mandatory to use cash to buy things inside the CCP-controlled supply and marketing cooperative system and only accept digital RMB if people want to pay electronically. This can completely prevent all possible holding and failure to control the price. This can minimize the potential impact of blockading the country. By the way, I discussed the digital RMB system thoroughly in August 2020. The CCP refers to this as digital currency electronic payment, DCEP. If you are interested, please go back to take a look. The sixth thing the CCP could do is to change the organizational structure of the government. After de-industrialization, the upper levels of government do not need so many specialized departments, and the grassroots are severely understaffed. Therefore, the central ministries and commissions, as well as provincial and municipal government departments, will inevitably see major staff reductions. At the same time, the control authority and the strength of districts, counties, towns, and streets will be greatly enhanced, i.e., the power of control at the end will be greatly strengthened in order to match the great suppression model and to build a truly community-based and grid management system that tightly controls everything. I don't know how many of you have heard about the grid management system. In Chinese, it is called 网格化管理. It involves subdividing the cities into a lot of smaller zones, and each zone is called a grid, and then assigning each zone to a grid manager who should monitor and report all activities inside this grid to the CCP on a regular basis. A lot of cities have already established such a system. The structural adjustment of the government has already been implemented in Shandong since the end of 2022. It is called 千百万工程 in Chinese and can be translated as the 100,000 and million project. It is an organizational restructuring that was piloted directly by the provincial government in Shandong province, and by the end of 2023 had gained sufficient experience to be approved by the central government in January this year for implementation throughout Shandong. Seventh, the health code and the travel history system that was established during the 3-year COVID lockdowns is still functioning effectively today and can accurately and quickly record each person's travel history. It can be used to monitor and control everyone at any time. So, to summarize, in the future, the CCP's relations with Europe, the US, Japan, and South Korea will continue to deteriorate. International conflicts will increase. Tensions in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait will also increase, with the possibility of armed confrontation by 2022 or 2025. China's doors to the outside world will begin to close down. The system of supply and marketing cooperative will be greatly strengthened and tied to digital currency, and there will be a great deal of reorganization of the government and a great deal of strengthening of the grassroots level of power and control. These are the futures that the Chinese people will face, the inescapable futures. Well, the above analysis may sound alarming, but it offers us a good explanation for the incredible behaviors of the CCP in the past decade, especially in recent years when Xi Jinping sometimes destroyed one industry each day, which was regarded as foolishness and was criticized as stupidity by many people both inside and outside of China. However, perhaps we are all wrong. We take it for granted that all governments in the world must want to improve their economies in order to win the hearts and the minds of their people. Rarely do we think of someone who would purposely try to bring down the economy in order to stay in power. Of course, there are those who disagree with this theory and argue that the CCP needs money to maintain its rule. For example, it costs money to maintain a large police force. It costs money to monitor the public with high technology, and it costs money to keep the people under surveillance. Also, people who have enjoyed a certain degree of economic development will not want to go back to poverty. So when they lose their wealth, they may rise up in rebellion and overthrow the CCP's regime. Therefore, the economic downturn is very dangerous to the rule of the CCP. Another loophole I found with the intentional depression theory is that it failed to offer us an explanation of why the CCP would bother to introduce industrial civilization in the first place if they really didn't want it. If I were to offer an explanation, it could be that the CCP had no choice back then, as its economy was going to collapse completely if it didn't reform and open up. But after gaining enough time, power, and wealth, the CCP's priority again was its totalitarian regime. From what I have observed, the CCP has been indeed proactively preparing for war. Or it could also be that different leaders had different thoughts. While Jiang Zemin was keen to make money without making any noise, Xi Jinping is more enthusiastic about keeping his power. That's why the CCP's policies keep changing all the time. Another possibility is the CCP has just lost the heavens mandate. Its time is over. So whatever it does, no matter how hard it tries, the result will always be the same, which is inevitable self-destruction. Well, which viewpoint do you agree with? Please leave us a comment and let us know. That's all for today. If you feel like signing up for a membership or make a donation, please visit my website at jenniferzengblog.com, jenniferzengblog.com. Otherwise, please help me spread the message by subscribing to my channel or sharing my videos. Thank you. See you next time. Have a happy weekend.